I wouldn't deal with the Yankees because their prospects are not high enough. I don't think it's good enough. But that guy seems great. He seems like he can do some damage. And if you're hitting fastballs opposite field off of Justin Verlander, you're good with me. And he looks a little compact, and if he plays center field, we have to shift over to right field, but eventually when he recovers from his Tommy John. But I'm all in for the player. I would never reject the player because he reminds me of another player. Yoan Moncada's only problem with me is that he continues to get hurt. If he reminds you of Yoan Moncada, that's a good thing for me, just sans the injuries. Injuries are not a thing that people do to themselves. Like, Yoan's not wanting to have his back hurt. He's not wanting to have his legs hurt. He wants to be healthy. When he's playing, and especially in the late part of this year, you saw what it was. You saw what it was early in the year when he did that in Houston. When Yoan's right, he's pretty damn good. And that's few and far between because of the injuries. But if he comes in, if he's like Yoan Moncada, but stays on the field, baby, let's go.
Yeah, there's a big difference between not being a Yoan Moncada fan in 2024 versus not being a Yoan Moncada fan in 2019. And maybe you weren't in 2019 for your own reasons, but certainly your opinion of him now, whether you're a fan who's happy to be biased or someone like me who's just watching what's going on, your opinion is much different of Yoan Moncada now than it was 5 years ago.
Right, and even the Red Sox back then seemed kind of like the Orioles now in the way that like they had so many top prospects to deal, right? Kopech was a top prospect and like very high thought of. Moncada was highly thought of. Devers was highly thought of. Like Devers seems to be their Jackson Holiday, and like I can't even go back to that trade and be like, oh well, they could have gotten more. Like the Red Sox weren't giving up Rafael Devers. They got the most out of the Boston Red Sox that they possibly could have, and through 2019, like it's mainly injuries that have like injuries in the pandemic that have derailed Michael Kopech and Moncada's career.
And you forgot about my man Basabe.
Yeah,
he plays in the league.
Easy to forget about. But yeah, I don't know. Dominguez, let's talk about him first just because he was their top prospect, the Yankees' top prospect. Pre-2020 by Baseball America, he was 38th in baseball. Pre-2021, he was 33. Then pre-2022, 87. Pre-2023, 67. So there has been a fall-off. But I don't know why. And, hey, I'm not a professional scout, but 2022, 273 batting average, 376 on base, 461 slugging, an 837 OPS, and that's in single A, advanced A, and double A, 16 homers, 72 walks, 128 strikeouts, and that's as a 19-year-old. And then in 2023, in 118 games in triple A and double A, he had 15 home runs, 40 stolen bases, 83 walks, 103 strikeouts, a 265 batting average, a 377 on-base percentage, a 425 slugging, an 802 OPS. I understand that's down 30% from his last year, but hey, he's only 20. Give him a break. And then, yeah, he had a 980 OPS in his 8 games in the major leagues. So he's coming off UCL surgery, which maybe that's the big thing is, that's why the Yankees might be able to part with a 20-year-old with this much potential. Also, their current major league roster is fairly full with Judge, Soto, and Verdugo. So is it just like can you get this type of prospect? Because I have an inflated sense of this prospect, and maybe he's not the player that I'm thinking that he could be.
But he's not going to play on the Yankees this year.
Right.
Unless one of those three gets hurt.
Right. And he's also hurt.
And then Stanton gets hurt. I'm just saying, like, their plans for him are for not begun in the boogie down in 2024. So it's easy for them to give up on him. Excuse me. I was about to cough.
Yeah, I mean, they're in the win now mode.
Yeah.
They need Dylan Cease.
To match with Nestor Cortez's mustache.
Yeah, and
Carlos Rodon's.
Yeah, I mean, to look at the Yankees, though, they're one of the teams that Fangraphs had put out their top 36 prospects on for 2024. You can also look at Toronto and Phillies. But Spencer Jones is their number one prospect, one player that we haven't talked about. Again, 6'6". He's got a 55 future value. And one thing I want to talk about real quick, talking about like maybe the quality of the Yankees versus the quality of the Orioles. Mm-hmm. They have 6 players that are a 50 future value or higher. So that means average major leaguer is their projected future value, at least as a floor. 2 of those are starting pitchers. Chase Hampton's 22 and a half years old. Will Warren's 24 and a half years old. They both have 50 future value as starting pitchers. Roderick Arias is their 4th ranked prospect. He's 19 and a half or so. He's at rookie ball right now. He's a shortstop. ETA's 2027, a future value of 50. Dominguez, 20.9 years old, has already reached the major leagues. His position center field, his future value fielding-wise is like 45. I'm not sure how his arm is, so maybe he is a guy that could go over to the corner, especially obviously with Robert in center field. His ETA is 2025. He seems to be major league ready, or at least to get a shot. His future value is 50. Austin Wells, again, has made it up to the major leagues for the Yankees at catcher. He's got a future value of 50. And then Spencer Jones is their number 1 prospect that we haven't talked about, has reached Double-A, currently playing center field. His ETA is 2026. He's got a future value of 55. And again, he's been very impressive. He's 6'6", ton of power, and also stole 35 plus 8, over 40 bags. So it just seems to be a very unique athlete with this build, frame, and potential power. And especially with that size, it seems like maybe not a center fielder, but maybe more naturally a corner bat.
I've got some breaking White Sox news for you if you'd like it. The White Sox officially announced a 1-year free agent deal for Martin Maldonado worth $4.25 million with a $4 million club option for 2025. Zach Remillard DFA'd.
Oh, what a turn in the Hallmark movie.
The movie's over now.
But that's such bad thinking. Now comeback tour. Zach Remillard. I mean, he's probably not going to get picked up on waiver.
I mean, he's like 29 and
Probably just going to go back to Charlotte.
wants a lot.
Probably.
I don't know.
And he's going to be starring in a Hallmark movie.
He will be.
All right. Well, I mean, you really had my heart skip in there.
Why? Over who was going to be DFA'd?
I'm like, we got we got a different player.
You said breaking news.
I mean,
was
it
like, 1
is.
year.
Because they actually signed him.
Yeah, we know that, he was coming. But all right, Maldi is now official. Zach Remillard, pour one out for Zach Remillard when you're drinking tonight.
I'm sure they'll eventually re-sign him to the minor leagues or something, invite him to a minor league camp. They love Zach.
Are you ready to coach?
Remy.
Okay, yeah, but it does seem, if you're looking at that, again, 6 players from the Yankees, or 5 players that have a 50 future value according to Fangraphs, 1 with a future value of 55. That's Spencer Jones. It's also weird, too. Like, I mean, Jones hasn't made it to the major leagues and is 2 years older. Like, Dominguez is a switch hitter that obviously has a smaller frame, but...
I mean, where's he going to play? But
Dominguez?
Yeah, I mean, no, it's Jones. I mean, isn't he a corner outfielder?
Beat out Gavin Sheets.
I mean, so just think about the Yankees.
Oh, right. Yeah. No, I mean, of course the Yankees, the Yankees seem to be very motivated to trade people.
Yeah.
Like, that's why they seem to be in. I mean, it's because they seem to be willing to go and give up a Jones or Dominguez. I mean, if they weren't, I don't think the Yankees would even be brought up in these conversations or would be thought of as the Mets. Yeah. It does seem like the Yankees are motivated because they are willing to give up some of these future outfielders. But again, you kind of question how good are they. Looking back at the one for 2023 for Baltimore, this was posted in February 3rd, 2023, so obviously a whole year has changed. Yep. But they have 6 players also of 50 value or higher, but only 2 of them are at 50 value. DL Hall, a multi-inning relief pitcher, and then Joey Ortiz, the middle infielder, at a 50 value. Kobe Mayo, the right field, third base, first baseman, he's got a 55 future value. Grayson Rodriguez, he's got a 55 future value. Jackson Holliday, he's got a 60 future value. And Gunnar Henderson, he's got a 65 future value. They do have Kjerstad listed at 45 plus, and maybe after a year, Kjerstad has reached that 50 level. Mm-hmm. So it does seem that if the White Sox are able to get a headliner of maybe Kobe Mayo, that would be equivalent to Spencer Jones. So maybe the Yankees are willing to go to Spencer Jones, and the White Sox, with Mayo's flexibility of third, first, outfield, maybe they're more interested in Mayo, but the Orioles aren't going to that level. I don't know. Are you? Is he getting traded in a week?
It's hard to say. Jerry Dipoto seems like he's starting up the trade engine right now, and so maybe this is where everybody just continues like, oh yeah, we did come off a holiday break, we're all good, refreshed, and let's get to trading a lot of people. So in my personal life, I don't like more Mayo or prefer Mayo over things, But if they get a player like Mayo in this return with Baltimore, I'm in. I just don't think the Yankees have enough. If that's the best deal that they're getting from the Yankees, from the Yankees is the best deal they're getting overall, I'm very disappointed. And I hope that Chris Getz would be bringing it back.
Jones or Dominguez aren't a good headliner?
No, not enough. There's too much volatility there. Dominguez is already hurt. Jones, he can play a corner outfield position, and yes, he would be an upgrade. But all the rest, I think it falls short. Those would be, you said their shortstop prospect is years away.
He's 19, but there's also talk that again Oswald Peraza, who is currently a major leaguer and a former top prospect for the Yankees. He wasn't that good in his first year, but he was a former near top 50 prospect in both Baseball America and baseball from MLB.com. So, that could be somebody that they already have Torres, and who's their other shortstop? I don't know who else they'd sign. But Volpe.
Yeah.
Peraza might be somebody that could be expendable, and he's only 23.
Yeah.
So, maybe you have a major league ready second baseman. You get Spencer Jones with his potential and 6'6"ness. I think his K rate was like 35% over the entire year in AA or AAA. But then, as James Fox pointed out on Twitter, like around June 25th, it went down all the way to 24%. So he does seem to be like an improving hitter that's understanding the strike zone. He's again 6'6" and hits the hell out of the ball and still 40-plus bags. Like, I don't know. It's a lot better than Gavin Sheets. Seems a lot more athletic. Seems a lot more quicker. Seems a lot more agile. Yeah. Seems a lot like he hits the ball harder.
That's not the measuring stick, though.
I know, but like if Spencer Jones was the right fielder in 2025, sign me up. I'm not against that. I have no choice of whether Andrew Benintendi's there in left field, but Luis Robert Jr. in center field, Spencer Jones in right field, sure. If it's Dominguez, again, I don't really see the downside besides the UCL surgery. He's 21 years old, a former top prospect. If you made this trade on August, July 31st or whatever the trade deadline was, August 1st, and Jason Dominguez was the headliner from the Yankees before he's made his major league debut for Dylan Cease, probably over the moon.
Hey, it goes to show what I was talking about the other day. The expectations are very interesting here, and Herb, as a window into the thinking of White Sox fans, I think the expectations are about as high as they could possibly be for what they're going to get back for Dylan Cease. I think they could make a move that would get them a really good return back, and I think a lot of White Sox fans would be disappointed.
It seems like they're going to get a 90th percentile return from Dylan Cease. Yeah. I don't think that they are going to be disappointed in their return. It seems like they are doing their job.
I don't think the White Sox will be.
Huh?
I don't think the White Sox will end up disappointed,
right.
But I think White Sox fans could end up disappointed.
But again, why? We heard the reports from the Reds that they were looking for top three prospects, and the most recent report from Joel Sherman, I don't know if he's just spouting that off and going off of what the Reds said, but if it's published 2 weeks later, the asking price is still consistent, and it seems like the stove is heating up. So it seems like at least some teams are showing sincere interest in paying top three premium prospects. Like, it seems like the White Sox are doing everything that they should to meet a high expectation. Like, I don't know.
Because basically every name you throw out there that isn't the Orioles has Herb going, no thanks.
It's just because the Yankees, because their prospects aren't top. They're good, great. But
what is top? Who's top?
Who are
the White Sox missing out on?
According to MLB.com,
yeah.
The Yankees' top three prospects are like 70, 75-ish in baseball.
Yeah. Right.
Which is really good. But Herb says he wants top 20 or nothing. Basically.
Orioles are 1, 14, 24, 27.
Well, what if you're not getting any of those guys?
You got to get one of those guys. Not Jackson Holiday. 1 you're not getting. But 14, Colton Cowser. 24,
right,
Kerstead.
But also
27, Norby.
I think that
Ortiz is 50.
I think that you were basing this off of what MLB.com's. like MLB.com has a different rating than Fangraphs. It has a different rating than Baseball America. It has a different rating than Baseball Prospectus.
Yeah.
So like as we just went over, like Kobe Mayo is seen as by Baseball Prospectus as better than Cowser or Kjerstad.
Yeah.
So like what does the number 25 have to do with anything? Jason Dominguez was closing in as a top 30 baseball prospect, and I can look at his career and say, why the hell has he dropped? Do you know why he's dropped? Has he become a worse player? I read you all the stats. The man just came up in his 8 games, hit 4 home runs and a 908 OPS in Major League Baseball. He's not even 21 yet, can't even have a fucking drink to celebrate.
He's got a UCL. UCL, man.
You know what really helps if you have the speed to go run down a fly ball and you don't have to throw it.
You need an arm. I don't know. You need an arm to throw it.
Beefloaf saying to tell you that nobody trades top 20 overall prospects, which, hey, again, I think that you can make the case that somebody out there probably has Jason Dominguez as a top 20 prospect or possibly has Spencer Jones as a top 20 prospect. You could even do that with the Orioles guys and Kobe Mayo or Cowser or whatever. Like, I think, again, if you were getting 3 premium prospects, if you were getting 3 of their top 5 prospects from the Yankees or the Orioles, you think that's a bad like if they get 3 of the top 5 from someone's consensus, you would be upset.
Yes, from somebody.
What do you want?
I want actual good players. Sean,
we're gonna wrap this up.
Hit the thumbs up button. Are you just going to accept a deal from the worst farm system in baseball or the best? I know the Yankees are not the worst farm system in baseball, but
as I just showed
there's
you,
levels. There's levels to this.
I know. But as I just showed you when we went to the Yankees,
future values. I got it. In the MLB, I got it. I don't think they're ready for it.
But the only guys that are different, like the only guys that are significantly better with the Orioles are Henderson, who is at a 65 future value, and then Jackson Holliday, who's at a 60.
But
the Yankees don't have any of those guys. Right, but like that's what I'm saying. Like Kobe Mayo didn't go up to a 60. Like none of those guys are 60 rate. Like they're all 55 or 50 still. Like it's really tough to get a 60 or 65. And if, as Beefloaf said, again, like you don't trade those guys because they're near projected all-stars already. I don't know.
Yeah, but that is just another projection thing. Doesn't mean it's
that's what
perfect.
Prospects are, man.
Yeah.
We all silly like the mayor.